Okay, instead of doing a monthly sales video, I decided to switch things up here on this channel. I asked myself, if I were y'all, what would I want to know? And really, what I think is most important month to month is what is selling quickly. I'm going to share all of my sales in October that sold in 3 days or less. And I'm going to share with you what I spent, how much I earned, how quickly it sold, and I just briefly will go over my monthly numbers. But my old sales videos where I dived into all of the nitty-gritty numbers, I don't know, I just started getting bored of shooting them, and I think maybe some of y'all got bored of watching them. So before we jump into what sold, let me just share how we did in September. For those of y'all who are new here, I have a 6-figure reselling business where I sell primarily on Poshmark and eBay, and I sell primarily women's clothes. I used to sell a lot of liquidation, source that way, get my clothes that way. Now I source almost exclusively at the Goodwill outlet or the bins. And this month in September, it was about 50-50 in what I was listing because we had older inventory from our liquidation purchases that we listed first, and then we started diving into bins items. So if you watch my video entitled "I Can't Do This Anymore," then you know what our new business model, what we're really aiming for. We're aiming for a $35 average sales price with 440 items sold, which would give us a total sales of $15,385. And if we had an average cost of goods of $5 with a 65% average gross profit margin, that would give us a $10,000 gross profit, which is where I want to be. I want to be at a $10,000 gross profit, and luckily we hit that this month. So we had a total of $17,399 in sales and 30 cents, and after the platform fees and the shipping costs and our cost of goods, we had a gross profit of $10,137.13. We listed 428 items and we sold only 319, but our average sales price is still up. I think it's because of our liquidation pieces that we listed, which was at $54.54. So we hit our gross profit goal, which is all that truly matters at the end of the day. And we're still transitioning into this new business model, but I feel pretty good about it. I feel pretty good that we were able to list that many items. We definitely need to start selling more, but October is looking more promising, especially as our average sales price will continue to go down. But yeah, I'm happy with where we are at for September. Okay, now I want to share the items that sold in 3 days or less in September. So all of the items that I'm going to share sold on Poshmark. It's mainly because we were a little backlogged on eBay in October, so I count the days listed by when I first listed it somewhere. We list first on Poshmark, and then it took a while for me to get those listings over to eBay this month. So that's okay. It's still a good information of what's selling quickly on Poshmark. Like I said, some of these items are going to be from liquidation. Some of them are going to be from the bins. The last liquidation purchase that we had was a shoe liquidation palette. And so you're gonna see quite a few shoes on here, which I actually still think is really useful information. Okay, so I had a total of 24 sales that sold in 3 days or less. So let's start. First, we've got this torrid cardigan. It sold again on Poshmark. I got it at the bins and I got it for $1.09. Listed it for $25 and it sold with my Posher VA offers to likers, which is automatic 30% off offer to anyone who likes any item in my closet. And so it sold for $17. And if you guys don't use Posher VA yet, I'd highly recommend it. Try it out. Go to posherva.com, use my code MOGIBETH, one word, MOGIBETH, and you'll get 20% off your first subscription purchase, and you'll get to try 2 weeks free. It's gonna make a massive difference in your sales if you're not using it yet. And really, I think the most important feature on Posher VA is the offers to likers feature. You of course can use it to share your closet as well. But really, the thing that's going to give you the biggest return on investment is the offers to likers feature, because I get so many sales from just sending offers to likers right after someone likes something. And then additionally, I run a 40% off everything sale once a week. And so my Posher VA does that. I just have to easily plug in 40% off my entire closet, and it's super, super easy. So anyways, this item sold again for $17 with a shipping discount, which gave me a gross profit of $10.79, and it sold again in 3 days. All right. Next is another bins find. It is a pair of McGuire denim slim jeans. These actually did have a tuxedo stripe, even though I think in my styles that I'm no longer picking up video, which I'll link up on the screen, I talked about how I don't pick up items with tuxedo stripes anymore. Well, I do with bins. I won't at the Goodwill, but this proved me wrong. I got these at the bin, so the cost of goods was $1.07. I listed it for $65. It sold for $40 with a shipping discount, which gave me a gross profit of $29.21. And again, sold in 3 days. Yay! Okay, another one from the bins. I really am liking sourcing from the bins because I can be much more selective with what we're selling. And so I think I'm seeing a much faster sell-through rate with these items. So anyways, these were Lafayette 148 Stanton slim leg pants. They were white, which is always tricky when you get it at the bins, but I think with these I actually did stain treat them and it came out easily. My cost of goods on these was 91 cents. I listed it for $60. It sold on a day where I sent out 40% off offers, so it sold for $36. And that left me with a gross profit of $26.17. And again, it sold in 3 days. I'm going 3, 2, 1, just in case y'all were curious. Okay, so next was again another pair of pants that I got at the bins. These were Eileen Fisher crepe pants in gray. I love picking up Eileen Fisher at the bins. I almost always pick it up when I come across it. These were again from the same trip, 91 cents. I listed them for 50. Sent out offers to likers with my Poshmark VA, so someone purchased it for $35 plus the shipping discount, which gave me a gross profit of $25.37, and again, 3 days till sold. Okay, next is my first one on the list that is from liquidation. This is a really good liquidation find. It is a new ALC Sedgwick jacket. I honestly could have gotten more for this, but it sold so fast that I'm fine with what it sold for. But again, if you ever see ALC blazers like at Crossroads or at your consignment, or of course at Goodwill, I would say pick it up, or at least check comps, because not all of them are going to sell this well. This one is in high demand, but I think blazers by ALC do especially well. So my cost of goods, we cost average everything with liquidation, was $16.42 on this piece. I listed it for $390 and it sold for $210 with discounted shipping, which gave me a gross profit of $149.86, and it was listed for 3 days. So great sale, made good money on that one sale, which is always nice. Okay, the next 2 sales on this list are from that shoe liquidation palette that I was talking about. So the first is this Keds Kate Spade collaboration shoe. They were the triple decker satin sneaker. All of my shoes from this palette cost $9.81 per piece, which is pretty high for cost of goods, but with brand new shoes I'm comfortable spending that much because it is a category that has a higher average sales price and it has a faster sell-through rate. Shoe brands that don't even have a really high brand awareness can still sell well in my experience. So it's one category. Shoes and coats, those are the 2 in my experience that can really, for whatever reason, you don't have to be super brand specific when picking those up. So I think it's because they're more utility pieces than fashion pieces. But anyways, spent $9.81 on these. I had them listed for $78. They sold for $47 plus shipping discount, which gave me a gross profit of $26.07. And again, they sold in just 3 days. Okay, so the next one is a style that I have a lot of actually. It is Madden Girl Kurt combat boots. These are in a navy black plaid color. Again, $9.81. I had them listed for $40 and someone purchased with offers to likers for $28 with the shipping discount, which gave me a gross profit of $10.87, and again sold in 3 days. Okay, moving on to what sold in 2 days. The first is actually a pair of overalls that I thrifted and I showed in a thrift haul over here on YouTube. If I can find it, I'll link it up on the screen. But it's a pair of Madewell Petite straight leg overalls, size medium. It took me a little while to list these because I had to stain treat them, and I don't know, it took me a couple weeks to get to it. But I did stain treat them, came out really easily. And so I had a cost of goods of $9.99, listed them for $65. They sold for $45 with discounted shipping after only 2 days. So I love selling Madewell overalls. They tend to sell really well. Okay, and then next was a bins find. This was a really good bins find. It was actually, I think, one of the first I found when I got to the bins. And when I first picked it up, I really wasn't sure if it was worth picking up, so I checked comps and I found out that it's actually a really desirable style that's sold at Anthropologie. The brand is Harlan. So it was an Anthropologie Harlan Graham longline plaid blazer. It's kind of like a coat, like a thin coat. And it was in a size small petite. I spent 77 cents on it at the bins, and I listed it for $75, and it sold really quickly. I got an offer for $50 and accepted it. And so it didn't have a shipping discount, and I had a gross profit of $39.23, and it sold after only 2 days. So that's really great sale, especially coming from the bins. So if you ever see that particular style, pick it up. I would recommend. Mine actually even was missing like the buttons on the pockets, so it did even have a flaw, and it still sold really quickly and for good money. So if you come across Anthropologie brand coats or coats that you think might have been sold at Anthropologie, I think it's always a good idea to check comps because some of them can sell really well. Okay, next is a pair of figs. I love selling figs. It's like high quality scrubs for nurses and doctors and physician's assistants and all the rest. So I got these Fig Zamora jogger scrub pants. I got them at the bins for 86 cents. I had them listed for $37, and they sold for $26 with a shipping discount, which gave me a gross profit of $18.22. And yeah, they sold in 2 days. So I still love picking up figs. And then the next brand is another brand I've been picking up a lot more recently, and that is Wilfred. This is an Aritzia brand. I've been trying to pick up in-house Aritzia brands a whole lot more. This was again a bins find. It was a moto jacket. Picked it up for $1.07, and I had it listed for $45, and it sold for $27 with discounted shipping, which gave me a gross profit of $18.81. And yeah, it sold in 2 days. Okay, next was a Hurley Pendleton hoodie. I actually featured it in a recent bins thrift with me, which I will link up on the screen. And this was kind of, I couldn't find comps on this specific style. I found comps on other Hurley Pendleton collaboration pieces, and so I decided to just take a gamble and pick this up, and it sold really well, really quickly. So I spent 86 cents on it. I listed it for $50. It sold for full price at $50, which gave me a gross profit of $37.42, and it sold again in only 2 days. So I was really happy with that. That's the cool thing about sourcing at the bins, is that you can take a gamble on things. Of course, you're committing not only, you know, around $1 to it, but you're committing your time, effort, labor. Whether it's you or you're paying someone else, it's still very valuable. So you can't necessarily just pick up anything willy-nilly. I still recommend checking comps on things you aren't familiar with, but still, it's much lower risk than even purchasing something from Goodwill, especially in this area because things are so expensive, or especially, you know, something like retail arbitrage or online arbitrage, or even at a buy-sell trade store. So that's one thing I really like about sourcing at the bins, is I can experiment a whole lot more. Okay, next is 2 pairs of shoes that I got in that liquidation palette. So the first was a new tag pair of Tom's Porter boots. These were men's, so that was good to know. If you find a like new condition, excellent condition pair of Tom's men's boots, I'd recommend checking comps and potentially picking it up. Again, cost of goods was $9.81. I had them listed for $88. They sold for $62 with discounted shipping, which gave me a gross profit of $38.07, and again, sold in 2 days. And then the next one was another pair of those Kurt Combat boots by Madden Girl, which is a Steve Madden brand, sub-brand. and these were just in black, and they had a cost of goods of $9.81. I had them listed for $40. They sold actually full price for $40, which was great, and I got a gross profit of $20.47, and they sold again after 2 days. So that is everything that sold in 2 days. Now let's head to the overachieving listings that sold just in one little day. Okay, first is another Aritzia brand, Babaton. These are Dexter pull-on tuxedo trousers, really cute. Got these at the bins. They cost 77 cents, and I listed them for 40. They sold to an offer to Liker from my Poshmark VA for 28 bucks with discounted shipping, which gave me a gross profit of $19.91. And yep, sold in one little day. Happy about that. And then next was actually something I wasn't sure about picking up at the bins. I actually don't know if I would pick it up again at the bins, even though it sold so quickly, but maybe I need to experiment with this brand more. It's Banana Republic. I rarely pick up Banana Republic, and the reason why I regretted picking it up when I did is because it was missing the belt, the waist belt. But we just listed it and disclosed that it was missing that, and it sold quickly. Not for a lot, but it did sell quickly. So my cost of goods was $1.09, and I listed it for 30 bucks. If it had the waist high, I probably would have listed it for a little more, but it sold for, I got an offer for 20, and I just accepted it because, again, I was kind of nervous about not being able to sell it. With a shipping discount, I got a gross profit of $13.19, and yeah, it sold in one day. So making, 13 bucks in one day, that's not too bad. I was happy to accept that offer. Next was another bins find. This is a J. Crew 1035 Campbell blazer. I'd highly recommend picking up J. Crew blazers, especially at the bins, but if you find them even at Goodwill, check comps. Some styles definitely do better than others, but that's one category by J. Crew that does really well. At the bins, it cost me $1.07. I had it listed for $50 and I accepted an offer for $30. And with discounted shipping, my gross profit was $21.21, and it sold in one teeny little day. Okay, next was another item that I shared in that recent bins thrift with me. It was this Lululemon Bring It Backbend sweater. I actually sold it for more than I projected I would, I think, in that video. Because in all those videos, I did projections of what I thought it would sell for. Actually, I think both of these items sold for more than what I projected, so that's always good. The cost of goods on this was 86 cents, and I had it listed for 60, and I believe I received an offer for 49. With discounted shipping, that gave me a gross profit of $36.62, and sold in one day. Okay, the next was actually something that I purchased at a regular Goodwill, and I actually featured these on TikTok and Instagram on my reels. So if you're not following me on either of those places or both of those places, that would be great because I'm posting on there all the time, especially like little thrift with me's, which is fun. But these cost $12.99, and I had them listed for $65, and they sold for $45 with discounted shipping, which gave me a gross profit of $21.29, and they sold in one day. Next is actually, I think, one of my highest sales, if not my highest sale of September, and it was a brand I absolutely love selling. The brand is MacDougall. Love this brand. Talked about this in my formal wear brands video, which I'll link up on the screen. If you ever find this brand, pick it up, unless it's like in tattered condition or something. But if it's in great or excellent condition, I'd say pick it up. Got this in liquidation with a cost of goods of $6. I've actually sold this exact gown before. It's a gorgeous off-the-shoulder tiered ball gown, and had it listed for $390 and received an offer the day after I listed it for $275, which I just went ahead and accepted. So with discounted shipping, my gross profit was $212.28. And yeah, sold in one day. Great. Maybe I could have got more for it, but honestly, very happy with that sale. Okay, the next was a bins item. I could have, I think, gotten more for this, but since I got an offer so quickly, I just decided to go ahead and accept it. It was a J. Crew collection cashmere hoodie, which was really soft, obviously, and really nice. And my cost of goods on this, since I got it at the bins, was 96 cents. And I had it listed for 60, received an offer for 30, which is, you know, 50% off, but I decided to go ahead and accept it. I talked about this in my I Can't Do This Anymore video, and I've talked about it in different Instagram or YouTube lives that I've done, but I'm just accepting more and more offers, and that's part of my new overall strategy in increasing the amount of sales and increasing volume going forward. So $30 with discounted shipping gave me a gross profit of $21.32, and yeah, it sold in one day. Yeah. Okay, next is a great sale. I found these at the bins. This is a brand you should definitely know. It's an athletic wear brand that is a bolo brand, especially this particular style though. Splits 59. Have you heard of it? Let me know in the comments down below. These were the Raquel high waist flare leggings, and everyone knows flare leggings, I guess, are still very much in. I feel like trends nowadays just come and go so quickly. It's hard to keep up with what has gone out, but apparently these are still in because they sold super fast. My cost of goods on these was 80 cents. I had them listed for 90 because the demand for these was actually really quite high. I was very happy to find them, and they sold for 30% off for $63 with discounted shipping, which gave me a gross profit of $47.88, and it sold in one day. Okay, next is a liquidation piece. New with tag MM Lafleur Haley dress. If you don't know MM Lafleur, definitely know it. It's a great bolo brand. I've found it at the bins before, and it sold really quickly. So definitely one that you can come across at Goodwill or at the bins. This was from liquidation though. My cost of goods was $5.96. I don't know what I listed for, but it sold for $127 with discounted shipping, which gave me a gross profit of $93.92. And yeah, it sold in one day. So really, really great sale. Those over $100 sales I am going to miss as we move away from liquidation, even though I've been finding a lot of really good pieces at the bins that I think could potentially sell for $100 or more. But regardless, it's definitely not the norm. You don't get as many pieces from the bins as you do in liquidation that are going to be that really high average sales price. So it's just something I have to get used to. But anyways, was very, very happy with that sale. Okay, and then the last sale on this list is actually one that I purchased at a regular Goodwill, and again I featured it on a TikTok and a reel and a thrift with me. Every time I go to a regular Goodwill nowadays, I film it. And I put it on either Instagram, TikTok, or here. But I go to the bins a whole lot more often, and I don't always film that. So, but this one was really cute. I was really highly considering keeping it, but I decided not to. It was a Beyond Yoga featherweight sleep robe. I wasn't sure if there was any demand for this type of piece, so I checked comps, and it looked actually pretty promising in terms of the available to sold ratio. That's something that I always look at, is how many are available, especially in this size or color, and how many have sold in this size or color. Just briefly, you know, glance at it, and it looked really good, and it actually looked like the sold comps were high, so I was like, oh, okay, this piece is promising. I listed for 50, and someone sent me an offer for 33, so I went ahead and accepted it. And with the discount shipping, it gave me a gross profit of $14.69, but it really only took one day to sell, so I would definitely pick that up again, even though, you know, the cost of goods was pretty high, $9.99. Still a quick 15 bucks about in one day. Definitely worth it to me. That is everything that sold in September in 3 days or less. How were your sales in September? I'm really curious. And how are they doing in October? We are finally getting back on track. July and August were really slow months for us, which was hard, but it feels good to be getting back on track, listing 23 items a day and listing bins items, which is really fun. But anyways, yeah, let me know how your September was. I'm really, really curious. I love reading y'all's comments, and let me know if you learned about any new brands or learned about any new styles that you weren't familiar with up until now, because it helps me feel like these videos are helpful to y'all. Okay, well, that is it. I will see y'all in the next video. Okay, love y'all. Bye.